live session on IBPS PO Success Academy brought to you by TalentSprint. This is session number 4 as a part of this Success Academy, which was originally instituted for the IBPS PO exam, but now I think it would be wrong to say that this is only for IBPS PO. Why? For obvious reason that the IBPS clerk's notification has also been released, right? So I think that's a very important update that I have for all of you. I'm sure most of you would be aware of this, that the IBPS clerk's 6th notification has been released, and there are 19,000 plus vacancies to be filled in the clerical cadre through this exam this year. All right. The registration process is also started from 22nd of August, right? So I think you should now hurry up and complete your registration for the same at the earliest possible, right? Please do not delay the registration process. Do not procrastinate it and think that I can do it on the last day, because we have seen in many cases that students fail to complete their registration on the last day due to heavy traffic and servers being fully loaded and not responding very well, right? So don't take any chances. Complete the registration at the earliest possible if you have not done it already. Okay. Well, I see a few names here on the chat: Shivani Pandey, Vikram Reddy, Aman, and we have Kirtiga, Subarna. So good to see you guys. Welcome to the IBPS Success Academy, I would say, because whatever we discuss here in the session today will be useful not just for the PO exam but also for the clerical exam, which is tentatively scheduled for the month of November, right? Now, what is the session today? It is on reasoning ability for the IBPS PO exam, right? But like I mentioned, this will also be useful for your clerical exam, the notification for which was released last week. Now, as is the topic is 2 things to avoid in reasoning section, right? 2 things that you must avoid in the reasoning ability section. I'm sure most of you are aware of at least one of these things that you need to avoid, right? Which I always talk about in all the reasoning sessions that I do, right? Anyway, we'll learn that as we move forward in the session. But before we start doing anything, and let me also tell you that we are going to discuss about these 2 things that you have to avoid through the previous year's paper, right? Like what we have done in quantitative aptitude and English language as well, right? So I've got the previous year's paper with me, the IBPS PO 2015 paper, the reasoning section of it, right? We may not be able to solve all the 35 questions due to time limitations, but we'll try and run through a few questions there, okay? And through that, we will understand what are those 2 things that you have to avoid so that you can boost your scores and maximize your chances in the IBPS PO exam. But before we get into all that, how's your preparation going? I would like to, I'm sure all of you have applied for the IBPS PO exam, right? The application date is already over. The last date for application is already over, right? So how is the preparation? I'm sure you have all started your preparation and, maybe slightly confused about what to prepare first, what not to prepare, what should you focus on, what kind of topics should you start with, right? Which subjects do you start with? Should you also prepare general awareness simultaneously? All these questions would be there in your mind, right? Most of which were answered in the first session that we had done as a part of IBPS PO Academy. But as such, in general, how is the preparation for this exam? Yeah. I think I've got a few responses here. Jay says it's fine. Then good. Shivani also says it's fine. Aman says it's good. Dhruv says it is at full swing. Rajashri says, others all say that the preparation is good, right? Sugandha says it's good. Prashant says it's going good. Tejas says it's good. Preparing for SSC and IBPS simultaneously. Yeah. So SSC exam is also coming up. You have reminded me, right? 27th August, the exam starts. So all of you are going fine with preparation. Vikram Reddy says currently the SSC CGL and IBPS, currently the preparation is on SSC CGL, IBPS is going slowly. Shalini says my problem is time management. Suresh Sahu says nowadays bank exams are totally unpredictable, so preparation is quite difficult. Well, I would disagree with you on one point. It's not that nowadays the bank exams are unpredictable. Even in the past, at least for me, bank exams have always been unpredictable, right? And I have always stated that the most predictable thing about these competitive exams is unpredictability, right? You do not know what is going to happen, right? There can be a change in the type of questions asked, there can be a change in the scheme of the examination. Of course, changes like scheme of examination or the pattern and all would be declared in notification, but you should be prepared for the worst. Okay. Alright, so looks like preparation is going good. All of you have started your preparation, and I'm sure these live sessions that we are doing as a part of the IBPS PO Academy, Success Academy, will help you improve your preparation, right? Improve on your preparation and get ready for your exam. Shashank has asked me a very interesting question. How many questions should we attempt in IBPS? Well, how many questions will you attempt? If let's say there are 100 questions, you know that there are 100 questions in this exam, right? 35 from quantitative aptitude and reasoning each, and 30 questions from English language. So 100 questions in 60 minutes. Shashank, let's say if I tell you that you have to attempt 40 questions, will you just attempt 40 questions and come out? No. You will attempt as many as possible in that 1 hour. Yes or no? Suppose I say you have to attempt minimum of 80 questions. So will you again just attempt 80 questions and come out, or maybe think that this is impossible? Or if I say attempt 95 questions, you'll say that this is impossible, I cannot attempt 95 questions, and so you will not even take it seriously. So the point that I'm trying to make, Shashank, is I do not know. If you're asking me how many questions should I attempt to clear the cutoff, I'm sorry, I have no idea. What I would suggest is choose the questions wisely. I think keeping in mind what we are going to discuss today, it's not about the number of questions, right? Of course, you have to attempt more and more questions in that limited time, but then it is also equally important to leave some questions, and I think that's what we are going to focus on in the session today. Okay? So let me share my screen. I hope, Shashank, you have followed my point. Alright, so here we go. The first question on your screens now. It says, study the following information carefully and answer the questions given below. Now this looks to be one from data interpretation. It says R is married to U, U is the mother of L, L is the sister of D, U has only one daughter, D is married to J, K is the son of J, F is the mother of J. And then there are two questions based on this data. So all you need to do is, make the family tree there, make the family diagram, and answer these questions. Should not be complex. I think 1 minute should be more than sufficient for you to, answer these two questions in the exam. However, here I'll give you a little more, about 2 minutes, and your time has already started. Naina Agarwal says, please provide some videos related to statements and conclusions. Well, Naina, if you're talking about syllogisms, I think we have done enough live sessions in the past, free live sessions in the past, where we have discussed about syllogisms, which includes statements and conclusions. It's a very, very important topic. Syllogism, by the way. Yeah. Okay, so I think the answer for first question according to Vikram is option 4. Naveen says it's 4. Swati has got option 4 and option 2, and so has Suresh Sahu, 4 and 2. Himanshu says it is option 4 for the first one. But somebody here says it should be 2 and 2. I've missed your name, but 2 and 2. Sai says it is 1. Now which one is 1? The first one or the second one? 4 and 3. 4 and 3. Sai says it is 1 and 3. Kumar has got 3. Kiran has got 4 and 2. Right? KKABC has got 4. Devendra says the answer for the first one cannot be determined. Option 1. Good. So I think we have got enough responses. While most of you have got 4 and 2 for the first two questions here, there are some differences. Like Shivani Pandey says it should be 2 and 3. Devendra says it should be option 1 for the first one. Alright, so I've got enough responses now. Let us quickly discuss this and see what the correct answers are. Alright. So what do we do? If you have gone to the blood relations video, see this question falls in the topic called blood relations, which is a very important topic, right? Most of the reasoning sections of bank exams, or I would say reasoning section of most of the bank exams, do consist questions from this topic of blood relation, right? Simple topic, interesting, and there are some special rules like gender and generation gap, which will help you answer certain type of questions in a jiffy. These two techniques are not applicable here in this question, but let me mention that in our videos of blood relation, we have discussed about, one is the gender, the second is generation gap. So if you focus on these two things in some questions, you will be able to mark the answer even without drawing the family tree. Okay, so just watch that video if you want to learn these two techniques, right? You can check our program for the same. Let me solve these questions now. So it says what? R is married to you. R is married to you, right? Now, like we have discussed in the video, married couple is represented with a double-headed arrow. So when we see a double-headed arrow between R and U, we can understand that this is a married couple, right? These are, husband and wife. Now, whose husband and whose wife is not clear here, but obviously one is husband, the other is wife. So R is married to U. Now, next point says U is the mother of L. Now, U is the mother of L, which makes it clear that U is the wife of R, right? And R is the husband. So U is the mother of L. So L comes in the next generation, and U is the mother of L. Now again, is L son or daughter is not very clear, right? Male or female is not clear to us. But then U is the mother of L. Next, it says L is the sister of D. Now if L is sister, obviously L is the daughter, right? Daughter of U. So L is the sister of D. So L and D will be in the same generation. See, the whole idea is about putting them in the right, horizontal lines. Like if R and U have been put in the same horizontal line because they are from the same generation. L and D have to be put in the same horizontal line because they are again from the same generation, right? L is the sister of D. Then it says U has only one daughter. U, this lady here, has only one daughter. Now it is obvious that if L is the sister of D, L and D are siblings and both are children of U or both are children of R and U. The next point says U has only one daughter. Now the fact that U has only one daughter, which is L here, we can conclude that D is the son. If U has only one daughter, then D would be the son. Right? D would be the son. Then it says D is married to J. D is married to J. Understand, D and J will be a married couple. So D is married to J. D is married to J. So we'll again use a double-headed arrow and J would be female. Then K is the son of J. K is the son of J. Very clearly, K is the son of J. K is the son of J. And the last point says F is the mother of J. F is the mother of J. Understand, L and D are siblings. L and D are siblings whose parents are R and U. But J's parents will not be R and U, right? F is the mother of J. So don't be under the impression that because these are in the same generation, for all the three the parents are R and U, right? There is a double-headed arrow. So it comes from some other family, right? J comes from some other family. And we know that F is the mother of J. F is the mother of J. F is the mother of J. Right? So that's the family tree. Of course, explanation has taken a little longer, but when you do it yourself, you will get the answer. You'll do it much faster, I'm sure. Okay? I am not solving it here, I am explaining it. So it takes obviously a little longer. Now answer the question. The first one says, how is D related to F? How is D related to F? D is here and F you see here. So how is D related to F? How is D related to F? See, D and J is the husband and wife couple, right? Married couple. D's wife's mother. D's wife's mother. Mother-in-law. So F is the mother-in-law of D. But he's not asking how is F related to D. The question is how is D related to F? How is D related to F? So what's the relationship of D with respect to F? D is the son-in-law of F. Right? F's daughter's husband. F's daughter's husband. Your daughter's husband is your son-in-law. So D is the son-in-law of F. Understand, you have to be very careful when answering such questions. If the question says how is D related to F, answer would be son-in-law. If the same question is asked, in the reverse way, like how is F related to D, then your answer will be mother-in-law. F is the mother-in-law of D. Right? So option 4 is the correct answer. Now, look at second one here. How is R related to K? How is R here related to K here? Clearly between R and K, see this is what I was talking about, right? Generation gap. Look at the generation gap. What is the generation gap? R is 2 generations above. So obviously the relationship of R with K will that be of a grand one. A grandfather, grandmother, granduncle, grandfather-in-law, grandmother-in-law, that kind of thing. So how is R related to K? Immediately father and uncle can be ruled out. And cannot be determined is also ruled out because R and K are somehow connected, right? Both R and K are there in the same family tree. So we can definitely find out the relationship between R and K. So cannot be determined, uncle, father are ruled out. Now unfortunately here I think there's a mistake that both option 2 and option 3 show grandfather. But by any chance, let us say, obviously this is the wrong case. Both second and third options cannot be same. Let's say in third option instead of grandfather if it is given as mother. Even third option gets eliminated immediately because R cannot be the mother. R is 2 generations above, right? It cannot be that of a mother. So the only correct answer has to be grandfather, option 2, right? But what if it is grandmother? Let's say if it is given grandmother, then what happens? You will eliminate option 1, option 4 on option 5. 2 and 3 are possible. Grandfather is possible and grandmother is also possible. R is 2 generations above. But then look at Generation. We have already looked at generation gap. Now look at gender. What is the gender of R? R is a male person. So can R be grandmother? No, ruled out. Hence R is grandfather. So this is elimination that we have used to find out the answer. See, directly also you can find it out, which actually has to be done after drawing the family diagram. But the point is here, because family tree is there, we can easily find out. But even if you don't draw the family tree, or when equations are given, that there is one model in blood relations where equations are given between two persons. Using different symbols. Relationship is shown using different symbols. In that kind of a case, this technique of gender and generation gap that we have used will definitely help you a lot. Right? So anyway, when you look at the family tree also, R will be the grandfather of K. Right? K's father. K's father's father. Right? K's father is D and D's father is R. So your father's father is your grandfather. So R is the grandfather of K. Anyway, those who have marked option 2 or option 3, both are right. Right? Both will same, grandfather only, but answer should be grandfather. I don't say 2 is correct, 3 also is correct, because 3 also is grandfather. The answer is grandfather. And sorry about that printing error there. Alright? So I think these are simple questions. Questions from blood relations, questions from coded inequalities, questions from directions, questions from, let's say, coding and decoding, questions from syllogisms. These are all simple questions. There is a definite method, right? There is no trial and error concept here, right? Any question from blood relations can be solved, right? There is a step-by-step process that you can follow to arrive at the answer. So keep in mind that there is one category of questions in reasoning where there is a definite method, right? I have already listed a few topics: blood relations, direction, syllogism, etc. Then what is the other category? Other category is arrangements. Arrangements meaning the type of questions where there is no definite method, or there is no formula, or there is no technique. Of course, there is an approach that we can use to solve, but nothing is definite, nothing is guaranteed about such questions. So let us go to the next one. Here comes the next one. Now this question is on arrangements, linear arrangements. Right? It says 7 persons P, Q, R, S, T, U and V have a seminar, but not necessarily in the same order, on 7 different months of the same year: Jan, Feb, March, June, August, October, December. So these are like common data questions, right? Then it says each of them also likes a different fruit, namely banana, grapes, papaya, orange, mango, lychee and apples. But again, not necessarily in the same order. So what do we have to do? Find out which person has seminar in which month and who likes which fruit. So that makes it a little complex, a complex linear arrangement. I want you all to quickly try this out. I'll give you about 4 to 5 minutes and your time starts now. Alright, so let me just read out a few comments. I thought I'll not disturb you for proper 4 to 5 minutes, but there are a lot of comments which says, I'll skip this question in the exam, right? Then many of you say it takes a lot of time. Anurag says, I think I'll not solve this in the exam, it looks time consuming. Srilekha says, skip it, right? Prashant says the question is time consuming. Shivani also feels that it takes a lot of time to solve. Okay. Then Prashant says this question is of arrangement or puzzle. Well, arrangement is also a puzzle, right? Puzzle is a very generic term, right? Anything can be called a puzzle. But this is, yes, arrangement, linear type of arrangement. Then, yeah. Many of you had mentioned that the question is not clear, but I think, guys, if you change the picture resolution at your end, like I had mentioned in the beginning, you will be able to get a better quality. Okay? And having said that, some of you also feel that this is very easy, right? Like I can see that Rajshri has given us a full answer here. So clearly Rajshri is able to solve it. Prashant Jackson says, I'll attempt this question at last if any time is left. Okay, Kirti has also given the final answer. Lengthy, it is time consuming. Skip it. 15 minutes. Then Devendra has asked a very relevant question here, that if there are 25 marks out of 35 which are based on complex arrangement, then how will you skip it? So he has also got a valid point. Right? His question is to all those who say that we should skip it. Remember, this is for 5 marks. This is not 1 or 2 marks. This is for 5 marks. Let me just see if I have the questions that were asked along with this. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. 5 marks question. This is a 5 marks question. Alright? So you have to take a call yourself that should you solve it or skip it, right? Should you try it or skip it? Alright, so I think I've given you enough time. Looks like most of you have made up your mind by now, right? Either you have skipped it or you have decided that you'll skip such questions in the exam because it is time consuming, it is lengthy, it takes a lot of time, right? And others have solved it, right? Some of you have solved it. Like Jyoti Singh says, I've solved it. Rajashri says, I've solved it. Okay. Then Chitra Datta says, please help to solve. So let me help you solve this, right? Let's look at the solution and then we'll discuss what actually needs to be done in such cases. Alright. So let us quickly go through the question once. What does it say? It says 7 persons P, Q, R, S, T, U and V have a seminar but not necessarily in the same order on 7 different months of the same year. And what are these months? January, February, March, June, August, October and December. Each of them also likes a different fruit, namely banana, grapes, papaya, orange, mango, lychee and apple, but not necessarily in the same order. So overall, if you see, there are 7 persons, 7 different months and 7 different fruits, right? These 7 different fruits are banana, grapes, papaya, orange, mango, lychee and apples. So this makes it complex, right? It is not just arrangement of 7 persons in 7 different months. It is arrangement of 7 persons in 7 months plus assigning the right fruit to each of these persons. Okay, and then there's a lot of data given here, right? R has a seminar in a month which has less than 31 days. Only 2 persons have a seminar between R and S and so on. So let's see how should we solve such questions. What should be the approach for solving such questions? What I'll do is I'll get some space to solve it here. I know the font size is reduced now, but you've already given it a shot, so you would know what actually it means. So let us try it out. Now the most important point that you need to note here is how do you start or where do you start with? Should you start with names of the persons? Should you start with names of the fruits? Or should you start with names of the months? Right? I mean, when you are doing some assignment problem, you can do it in any way. You can start from anything that you want, right? Names of the persons or name of the companies or name of the movies that they like or name of their countries or names of their favorite colors, anything. But if you see, in these 3 parameters that we have here, persons and fruits and the months, the one thing that is always fixed or pre-decided is the months, right? The different months of the same year. He's talking about Jan, Feb, March, June, August, October, December. So a smart way or a smart approach would be to fix the months, right? We'll say Jan, because obviously these are in a particular order which we know. Jan, Feb, March, then we have June, August, October and December. Remember, there can be multiple possibilities initially when you start solving this question. So you have to go with all the possible cases, and then as you move forward, somewhere or other you will find a hint or a clue which lets you know that which of these possibilities are wrong. Right? Ultimately, you will be left with only one solution. But when you begin, you may have more than one. Right? Usually 2 to 3 solutions. Okay? So let us start. Let us start, right? And again, it is not in order that you have to do it horizontally. You can do it vertically as well. You can write down Jan, Feb, March, April, up to December in a vertical fashion also. Okay. Now let us start reading the points. The first point says R has a seminar in a month which has less than 31 days. R has a seminar, the first point. R has a seminar in a month which has less than 31 days. Now this is interesting. If you look at the months here, Jan has got 31 days, March has got 31 days, August, October and December have also got 31 days. The only two months here which have less than 31 days are Feb and June, and these are the 2 possibilities. See, R can either be in Feb or in June. R seminar can be in Feb or June because these are the 2 months which have got less than 31 days. So let us take both the possibilities. Possibility 1 where R comes in Feb and possibility 2 where R comes in June. You don't have to decorate it so much, but if you can write it in a handwriting which is legible to you, it is more than sufficient, right? You need not write the full names of the month and all that. I'm sure you will take care of all these things. So 2 possibilities. R is a seminar in a month which has less than 31 days. So R is either in Feb or it is in June. Next point. Only 2 persons have a seminar between R and S. Only 2 persons have a seminar between R and S. Now only 2 persons between R and S. If you look at case number 1, S cannot be on the left of R because there have to be 2 persons between R and S. It has to be on the right. So 1, 2 and here comes S. If you look at case 2, R is exactly in the center of this arrangement in the month of June. There are 3 places on the right and 3 places on the left. Now the point says there are 2 persons between R and S. Exactly 2% between R and S. So S can come on either sides. S can come in Jan, there will be 2% between R and S, or it can come in December, there will be 2% between R and S. Now which is correct? We have no idea. Unless we move forward, we'll have no idea. So better choice would be to take a third possibility where you will replicate case number 2 and then take the two possible cases, right? S can come either in Jan or it can come in December, right? There are 2% between R and S. Look at the next point. The one who likes banana has a seminar immediately before T. The one who likes banana has a seminar immediately before T. Now the point is, so far in the arrangement, neither we have marked banana nor we have put T somewhere. So we have no clarity as to how do we use it. The only thing that we get to know from this statement is banana is immediately before T. Banana and T will take two consecutive positions and banana will come immediately before T. But you cannot use it right away. So keep this statement pending. We will come back to this, right? We'll come back to this. Next point. Only one person has a seminar before the one who likes papaya. Only one person has a seminar before the one who likes papaya. Now understand. Only one person has a seminar before the one who likes papaya. So where should papaya come? In the month of Feb. Papaya is fixed. It will come in the month of Feb because only one person has a seminar before papaya. Only one person has seminar before the one who likes papaya. So obviously that person will come in Jan and papaya will go for Feb. So what we are trying to do is fixing the fruits on top for all the three cases. Okay. Then next point says, or there is one more way. You can write papaya here also in all the three cases, whichever way you like it. Next says Q has a seminar immediately after the one who likes papaya. Q has a seminar immediately after the one who likes papaya. Now that we have already marked papaya, it is easy to mark Q. Q has a seminar immediately after papaya. So immediately after papaya is March. So Q will come in March. So in all the three cases, take Q in March. Right? Next, only 3 persons have seminar between Q and the one who likes mango. Only 3 persons have a seminar between Q and the one who likes mango. Now Q is fixed for March. In all the three cases, Q will come in March. Now 3 persons between Q and mango. So can mango come on left? Not possible. Can it come on right? Yes. 1, 2, 3, mango. 1, 2, 3, mango. 1, 2, 3, mango. So clearly, for all the three cases, mango would come in December. There is no other choice. Right? Mango is fixed for December. Done. Next, T likes neither mango nor papaya. Now look at this. T likes neither mango nor papaya. Have we marked T already? No. But now we have got to know that T will not come for Feb and December because T neither likes mango nor he likes papaya. So this point is useful, but we will use it a little later. See, T likes neither mango nor papaya. What else do we know about T? We know that banana will come immediately before T. So look at this. I mean, how do you verify this point? How do you use this point? We have to fix T. Can T come in Jan? No. Because before T there is banana. If you take T in Jan, where should banana go? So ruled out. T cannot come in Jan. Can T come in Feb? No. Because T does not like papaya. Right? Can T come in March? No. T cannot come in March because March is already occupied for Q. Already occupied by Q. So Jan, Feb, March are ruled out for T. Right? Can T come in June? Possible for case 1. In case 1, T can come in June. Banana will come for March. But in case 2 and 3, T cannot come in June because R is already occupied June. Then can T come in August? No. No for case 1 because in August already S is there. But in case 2 and case 3, yes, T can come in August. So there are multiple possibilities depending on different cases here, right? In case 1, T can come in June but not in August. In case 2 and 3, T can come in August but not in June. So point is definitely useful, but using it right away may not be very may not be a great idea. Let us see the next point. It says P has a seminar immediately before T. P has a seminar immediately before T. Now this will help us to some extent. P has a seminar immediately before T. Already we know that banana will come immediately before T. Now we know that P has seminar immediately before T. So if we combine these 2 points, what do we get? We will get that P and T are together and P likes banana. Yes or no? So there must be 2 consecutive positions for P and T, where P comes before T and P likes banana. Now this will help you a lot. And we also know that T neither likes mango nor papaya. So try to fix it. See, we have already verified that T cannot come in Jan, Feb, March for all the 3 cases. Yes or no? T cannot come in Jan because before T it should be P. T cannot come in Feb because T does not like papaya. T cannot come in March because March is already occupied by Q. Can T come in June? Can T come in June? No. Because if at all T comes in June, P should come in March. See, P comes immediately before T. P has to come in March, but March is already occupied. So T cannot come in June. Can T come in August? No. For case 1, T cannot come in August. For case 2 and case 3 also T cannot come in August, because if T comes in August, P should come in June, but June is already occupied by R. So T cannot come in August overall. Can T come in October? Can T come in October? Yes, T has to come only in October. That's the only possibility, because we already know that T cannot come in December. T does not like mango. So out of all the possible months here, T is only possible in October. But if you take T in October, what happens? Before T it should be P. So S and P. So what do you see? In case 1, you are getting 2 persons in the same month, which is wrong. Which means case 1 is wrong. So 1 case is ruled out. Alright, 1 case is ruled out. And 2nd and 3 are possible because T has come in October. Okay. Now because P likes banana, you can fix banana for August. So banana comes for August. Now go to the next point. V likes apple. Now we have only 2 cases to be verified. Case 2 and case 3. Right? Case 1 is ruled out. Shall I clear it? I think it looks a little confusing if... not confusing, but if you clear it, it becomes much easier. Right? Case 1 is ruled out. Now, what is the next point? V likes apple. Now, V likes apple. Understand? V likes apple. So, V, according to case 3, V can come in January, and January should be for apple. V cannot come in Feb. V cannot come in March. It cannot come in June, August, and October. So, now if you see, this point is enough to find out which is correct of these two. What do we know? V likes apple. Look at case 1. The only possible positions for V are this and this. But if V comes here, this should be apple, it is already papaya. If V comes here, this should be apple, it is already mango. Which means case 2 is also wrong. Remember to follow, it is not fixing V. Now look at case 3, that's the only case left. 2 possible positions for V. Which is correct? Can V come in Jan? Yes, it can come. Can V come in Feb? No. Because if V comes in Feb, this should be apple. Here we have papaya. So V comes in Jan, and January is apple. Done. So what we have done is found the positions of each of these persons. Fruits are not fixed yet, but positions have been found. All the positions have been found, right? Now only fruits are left out, some of the fruits. By the way, one gap is there, which is this person P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. U will come in Feb. Now the one who likes grapes, this should be grapes, not graphs, right? The one who likes grapes has seminar in the month which has less than 31 days. Now grapes should come for less than 31 days. Now the only month which is less than 31 days out of March, June and October is June. So grapes will come for June. And last one. Last point says what? Last point says the one who has seminar in March does not like orange. March does not like orange. So October will go for orange. What is left out? Lychee is left out, I guess, right? Lychee. Lychee will come for March. Somebody says, can you explain why T cannot be in December? T cannot be in December, guys, because it said T does not like orange or papaya. T likes neither mango nor papaya. So if you take T in December, what happens? You are saying that T likes mango. But we know that T does not like mango. Alright, so that is the reason T cannot come in December. Alright, so that's the arrangement. So like you have seen, out of 1, 2 and 3 possible cases, 1 and 2 came out to be wrong and 3 is the correct one. So what's the order? V, U, Q, R, P, T, S. And what's the order of fruits? Apple, papaya, lychee, grapes, banana, orange, mango. Now, some important points to be noted before I show you the questions. Right? Let me come back to the video. Point number 1. Do not, or I think that's the only point which I have to explain, right? Do not go by the length of the explanation. If explanation has taken 10 minutes here, does not mean that it will take 10 minutes for you to solve in the exam, right? Understand, I was not solving the question. I was explaining it to you as to how to solve this question. If I solve it myself for my sake, then I'm sure I'll do it much faster. And same applies to you also, right? All those who have got this correct, I'm sure they would have taken less than what I have spent here. Okay? So the point is, because I was explaining to you in detail, step by step, it has taken so much of time, right? When you do it for yourself, you will be very, very quick. Okay? That's point 1. So don't think that this is a very time consuming, right? Of course it is time consuming, but not as much as what we have spent here. Point number 2, do not solve this question in the exam. Now that's strange, right? Why should you not solve this question in the exam? Well, when I say do not solve, I mean do not solve it the moment you see it. Okay? The first thing that a smart person will do as soon as he sees this question is skip and go to the next one. Are you able to follow? A smart person will not solve this question immediately. You see this question, You know that this is complex linear arrangement. You should just mark it for review and go to the next question. You have a very beautiful feature in the exam called mark for review, right? Mark for review. Okay, mark this one for review and go to the next one. Okay, which means I can try it, but I am not sure whether I will get the answer or not. This was easy. This is not a complex question. Let me tell you, this is very simple. But you never know unless you try it. I am able to say that this is easy only after I have solved it. Right? Just by looking at the question, you cannot say how easy or difficult it is. Sometimes even very small data, little data can make it very complex. Sometimes even a lot of data given to you will make it very, very easy. You're able to follow. So don't go by the length of data or anything. Unless you try it, you'll not know how complex it is. So the point that I'm trying to make is skip these questions in the exam. So if you ask me, the two things that you have to avoid in the exam, number one is skip complex arrangements, complex linear arrangements, complex circular arrangements, complex assignments, etc. Are you able to follow? Skip these questions for the moment. Again, when I say skip, I don't mean to say that you should completely avoid it. Skip it for that moment. Solve the remaining questions, solve the easier ones, and then come back. This also answers question that was posted by one of you, which said, what will you do if there are 25 complex arrangement questions in the exam? You know that total there are 35 questions, right, in the exam. Out of 35, if 25 are complex arrangements, then what will you do? Right? I mean, many students actually come back and ask this question to me, saying that you say skip complex ones, so should we skip all the 25? Understand, guys, I am not asking you to skip it for good, right? I am saying skip for that moment. First, solve the easier ones. First, solve the simpler ones. Are you able to follow? You know that a very important ability that you should build up before you go for the exam is to choose your questions wisely. Are you able to follow? Just because you know how to solve it, just because you have some idea about it, does not mean that you start solving it. The first thing that you do is gauge, is this worth solving or not? Right? Will I be wasting my time? Right? Will I get into a trap? If this kind of a question is given, you better skip it. Solve the remaining ones and then come back. If time permits, then you come back. Are you able to follow? These questions, let me tell you, can become a big trap, right? You will get trapped here, you will waste your time, precious time. You end up wasting about 10-15 minutes and you don't get anything out of it. And you feel very bad. You start, you start getting frustrated. That's even worse, right? And you will spoil the remaining paper also. So take it seriously, skip such questions and go to the next one. Alright? Now I'm not going to show you the 5 questions that were asked along with this, because once you have done the arrangement, answering the questions is no deal. Anybody can answer the question. What I'll show you is the next set of questions. So I think the first thing that we have learned from the session today about the 2 things that we have to avoid, the number 1 thing is to avoid complex questions. It can be complex circular arrangement, it can be complex linear arrangement, it can be complex assignment, it can be, let's say, a complex critical reasoning type of question. Avoid such questions, right? Be wise. Don't try to show your intelligence there. I can solve even complex ones. Nobody will give you more than 1 mark per question, right? Whether you solve it in 1 minute or 10 seconds, you're going to get only 1 mark. So why solve easier ones, right? Okay. Now let me share my screen again and present the next question to you. So here we go. You've already solved this. These were the 5. You can answer these questions without any challenge once you have done the arrangement. And here comes the next one. Now this is a question based on complex circular arrangement. We will come back to this later. Let us first solve maybe 1 or 2 questions on syllogisms. Or maybe, I think, you try this out. After doing a complex linear arrangement, let's now do this complex circular arrangement. 8 persons, J, K, L, M, P, Q, R and S are sitting around a circular table facing the center with equal distances between each other. Each one of them is also related to M in some way or the other. So if you see, this is a complex question because we have to arrange these 8 persons around a circular table and also find out the relationships, because he's talking about each one being related to M in some way or the other. So I'll give you about 5 minutes to try this out and your time starts now. Alright, so I'm glad to see that some of you have cracked this, right? The few names that I'd like to take are like Vikram Reddy, and let me just scroll up and see who else has commented that you have done it. Yeah, Shivani has got it, Ashwani Saxena has done it, Arjun has done it, Shipra has solved it, right? And who else? Recruitment says I've solved this once before. Okay, so really happy to see that you are able to crack these type of questions, right? Naveen Parashar has also done, Vaibhav has done, Komal has done, Dhruv Kumar has done. Alright, so let us quickly solve this first and then see what to be done in the exam, right? What to do with such questions in the exam. Okay, so I've got some space for me along with the data here so that we can work out on this. What does it say? It says 8 persons J, K, L, M, P, Q, R and S are sitting around a circular table facing the center with equal distances between each other. Now the first and the biggest relief is that persons are facing the center. You know that circular arrangements will get complex if not all the persons are facing the same direction. Like some facing the center, other facing outwards, it makes it complex, right? Here all are facing center. So when all persons are facing center or all persons are facing outwards, it is comparatively easier to solve. So what we can do is draw a circle and mark these 8 positions, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are the 8 positions, all of them are facing center. And you very well know that when persons are facing center, left is clockwise and right is always anti-clockwise. Okay? Next point says that each one of them is also related to M in some way or the other. So it says out of these 8 persons, each one of them is related to M. J, K, L, P, Q, R, S. Each one of them is related to M. So basically it is about a family, 8-member family who is seated around a circular table with M being the reference. Okay. Now start filling the gaps here. The first point is only 2 persons sit between Q and L. Now this itself gives us 2 possibilities, right? Only 2 persons sit between Q and L. Multiple possibilities. You can say that Q is in the bottom of the circle, fine. But 2 persons sit between Q and L. L can be taken on the right of Q or on the left of Q. Both are possible. So let us take both the cases. No choice. You have to just quickly do this and find out which one is correct. So we'll take Q here, right? So in the first case, let us take L on the right hand side, and in the second case, let us take L on the left hand side, right? Only 2 persons between Q and L. So Q, L, 2 persons between them. Q, L, 2 persons between them. Next, M sits second to the left of Q. M sits second to the left of Q. Now what is left of Q? Clockwise. Second to the left. First and second. This is M. First and second. This is M. Okay. Only 3 persons sit between L and M's sister. Now see, here comes the complexity. Only 3 persons sit between L and M's sister. Now who is his sister is not known to us so far. But it says only 3 persons sit between L and M's sister. What we can do is, since L is already marked, we can mark the position of the sister. We may not know the person yet, but we can mark the relationship at least. So only 3 persons between L and M sister. So L is here. Now 3 persons between L and M sister. Again the question that arises is in which direction? 3 persons in the clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction? If you have solved questions on circular arrangements good number of times, you would know that when there are 8 persons in a group, and when we talk about 2 persons who are separated by 3 persons in between them, these two will always be opposite. Like for example, 3 persons between L and M sister. You take either ways, you will get sister in this position, right? 1, 2, 3, sister. 1, 2, 3, sister. Right? Whether you take clockwise of L or anti-clockwise of L, both the ways you will get L's sister, M's sister in this position. So we can say this position is occupied by sister, M's sister. Same happens in the other case also, right? So now you can understand that in such cases always the person is opposite. The 2 persons are opposite to each other. Okay, so L is here, sister will come here. 3 persons between L and M's sister. That is done. M's son sits second to the right of M's sister. M's son sits second to the right of M's sister. So sister is here, second to the right, first and second. Son would come in this position. Sister is here, second to the right, first and second. Son would come here. Next, only 1 person sits between M's son and S. Only 1 person sits between M's son and S. Now again, there can be 2 possibilities, right? M's son we know, but between M's son and S, there is only 1 person. So either ways is possible. Check. Son is here. Only 1 person between M's son and S. So M's son is here. There should be 1 person and S. Not possible because L is seated here. Look at the other side. M's son is here. 1 person between them and S. Yes. So which means S will be the sister, according to this statement. Try out in the second case. There is only 1 person between M's son and S. So M's son is here. 1 person between M's son and S. So can S come in the anti-clockwise direction? No. Because L is already seated there. It has to come in the clockwise direction and hence S comes here. So S is the sister. According to both the cases, S is the sister. This point is also used. Next, J sits to the immediate right of R. J sits to the immediate right of R. Now this is an important point. J sits to the immediate right of R means what? If this is R, J is in the right of R. Right, you know, is anti-clockwise direction, right? So J should be in the anti-clockwise direction of R, immediate right of R. Or R should be in the immediate left of J. Okay, J sits to the immediate right of R. So we get to know two things about J and R from this point, right? One is that J sits to the immediate right of R. The second thing is they are sitting immediate next to each other, which means what? There should be two consecutive positions for J and R which have to be available. Now, if you look at case 1 here, let's say this is case 1 and case 2. If you look at case 1, the two consecutive positions for J and R can be these two positions or these two positions. The remaining 4 are occupied, L, Q, S, N. But here it can be these two or these two. Similarly, in case 2 also, there are only two possibilities, right? J and R can take these two positions or they can take these two positions. This one position alone here will not be of use for J and R. But not very clear, right? Two possibilities. So again, duplicating first one and duplicating second one to get the other two possibilities will make it lot of, will make it really time consuming. So we'll skip this for the now. Only remember that J and R are together and J is on the immediate right of R. Next point is about R again. It says R is neither the son nor the mother of N. R is neither the son nor the mother of N. Now what does it mean? See, we know that R and J will come like this. If R comes here, J should come here. If R comes here, J has to come here. That's the only possibility, right? J should be in the anti-clockwise direction of R. Can R come here? No, because R is not the son. So R cannot come here. Now, if R cannot come here, J cannot come here. Can R come here? No, because if R comes here, J has to come here. But L is already seated here. Can R come here? Yes. If R comes here, then J would come here. You see? J is on the immediate right of R. Similarly, in case 2, can R come in this position? No, because R is not the son. Can R come here? Yes. If R comes here, J would come here. R cannot come here. Can R come here? No. Because if R comes here, J would come here, which is already occupied by L. So the only possibility is R has to come here and J becomes the son. You see? J is on the immediate right of R. Right? So this point is also used. Next, S is an immediate neighbor of M's mother. It says S is an immediate neighbor of M's mother. S is already marked. S is already marked. S is an immediate neighbor of M's mother. Means what? See, you know that M is this. I mean, if you look at the case 1 here, S neighbors are M and Q. S is an immediate neighbor of M's mother. Can M be M's mother? Not possible. I mean, one person cannot be one's own mother, right? So this cannot be the mother. So obviously Q has to be the mother. So we can say the relationship of Q is mother of M. Look at case 2. S is an immediate neighbor of M's mother. Now S is here. Who are the neighbors of S? Q and R. It says S is an immediate neighbor of M's mother. Can R be M's mother? No. Remember, earlier point. R is neither the son nor the mother of M. So R cannot be the mother of M. So obviously Q will be the mother. So according to case 2 also, Q is the mother. I hope all of you are able to follow the point here, right? S is an immediate neighbor of M's mother. So in case 1 there is only one possibility, Q. In case 2 also there is only one possibility, Q. Because R cannot be the mother. R is not the mother of M is given to us. Next, only 3 persons sit between M's mother and M's brother. Only 3 persons sit between M's mother and M's brother. Again, we have already discussed about this concept of 3 persons, right? In a group of 8 persons seated around a circular table, whenever we say only 3 persons sit between 2 particular persons, then those 2 persons are opposite to each other. So 3 persons between mother and brother means what? Mother and brother are opposite to each other. So if this is mother, this will be the brother. Right? Don't worry about anything else, right? Mother and brother. Here, if Q is mother, this position will be occupied by the brother. Alright? So that's done. Next, M's daughter sits second to the left of M's brother. M's daughter sits second to the left of M's brother. Now, brother is already marked, right? Brother's position is marked in both the cases. Daughter is second to the left of brother. Daughter is second to the left of brother. So brother is here. Brother is here, second to the left. First and second. This will be daughter. Alright? In case 2 also, brother is here. Daughter is second to the left. First and second. So this will be daughter. Next, M's father is not an immediate neighbor of M. M's father is not an immediate neighbor of M. See if this point is useful. He says M's father is not an immediate neighbor of M. So, if you look at the relationships, sister, mother, son, daughter, brother are marked. What is left out possibly is father and I think wife. Somewhere other next he talks about wife. He says M's father is not an immediate neighbor of M. Means what? J cannot be the father. If J is not the father, the only person available now is L. So L has to be the father. Yes or no? M's father is not an immediate neighbor of M. So if J is not the father, the only place available is L. So we can say L is the father. Look at case 2. Father is not an immediate neighbor of M. Now here comes an important point, right? We say M's father is not an immediate neighbor of M. Look at case 2. These two cannot be the father of M. They are not the immediate neighbors. I mean, M's father is not an immediate neighbor of M. So these two cannot be the father, right? This is brother, son, daughter, sister, mother. So where should father sit? So according to case 2, there is no position available for father, and which makes it wrong, because we know that definitely there is a father here, right? If we have followed all the points, it says M's father is not a neighbor of M. So L cannot be the father. This person also cannot be the father. Remaining all are already somewhere or the other related to M. Brother, son, daughter, sister, mother. So obviously second one is wrong, because there is no scope of positioning father here. Okay? So second one ruled out. Now only first one is left. Right? And that itself has to be the correct one. Look at the next point. M's father is not an immediate neighbor of M. We have already used this. Next point says M's wife sits third to the right of K. M's wife sits third to the right of K. M's wife. Now, obviously, sister, mother, son, daughter, father, brother are done. So wife has to be J. Yes or no? The only person who can be the wife of M here is J. Right? Now, M's wife sits third to the right of K. If wife sits third to the right of K, K will be third to the left of wife. Yes or no? If wife sits third to the right of K, K will be third to the left of wife. Third to the left of wife, first, third to the left of wife. This is wife, right? First, second, third. K would come here. Done. I think with this the arrangement is done, right? All the persons have come. J, K, L, M, P, Q, R, S. J, K, L, M, Q, R, S. P is left. So obviously P has to come here. And all the relationships are also done. Wife, brother, father, daughter, son, mother, sister. Yes. So I think, see, even without using these last 2 points, we have been able to complete the arrangement. You see? Even without using these last 2 points, we have been able to complete the arrangement. The first point here is L is to the right of Q. L is to the right of Q. Yes, L is, first of all, L is to the right of Q is, in my view, a useless statement, because in a circle, wherever the persons are seated, we can some way say the right of Q, right? L is to the right of Q. Yes, first, second, third, right of Q. I can also say that L is to the left of Q. How? If you go in the clockwise direction, first, second, third, fourth, fifth to the left of Q. So this point really makes no sense in my view. But anyway, L is closer to the right of Q than to the left of Q. I mean, that way it is useful. But anyway, without using this point, we have got the correct arrangement. And last point says only 4 persons sit between M and M's father. This also we have not used, but we have already got it, right? Only 4 persons sit between M and M's father, right? M is here 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 persons between M and M's father. So see, if you do it properly, even a complex arrangement which involves blood relations can be done without having to use all the statements. Are you able to follow? We have completed the arrangement without using 2 of the statements. So that's how you just go about it, right? Step by step process. Just follow the step by step process. Trust all of you have followed the solution, right? Although we have solved this question here, right? Priyanka and Bhuvaneshwari have confirmed that they have followed it. Thank you guys. Now the point that I'm trying to make is, although we have solved it here, you just need to remember that from the examination's point of view, the best way to solve this question is not to solve it. Just skip and go to the next one. Remember, we have got the answer here, we have got the solution here, right? But will you get it or not? We never know unless we try it, right? And even one single try will take about 5 to 6 minutes. So after spending 5-6 minutes, if you realize that, okay, this is really complex, we're not going to get it, then it makes no sense, right? So what I would say is, skip it as soon as you see it, right? It's like shoot at sight, right? We say shoot at sight, you skip at sight, right? The moment you see these questions, cite these questions, skip and go to the next one. But definitely mark it for review. Again, I know some of you will raise the point that what if most of the questions are from complex arrangements? Yes. In that case, what you'll do is first solve the easier ones. The same thing happened in the SBI PO mains exam also, right? Many students came back and gave a feedback that out of 35 questions in reasoning, 25 were from complex arrangements. And if you go by what you had said, we'll have to skip all the 25 questions. So remember, when I say skip, I never said skip it for good, right? Solve the easier questions first, right? Choose your questions wisely and then come back. And 25 were from puzzles, I agree. Remaining 10 were very, very simple. Blood relations, right? Coded inequalities, directions, which are like some of the easiest topics from reasoning, right? and you can boost your score using these topics. It hardly takes any time to solve questions from coded inequalities. You very well know that, right? If you follow the 3 golden rules that we had discussed in the video, you will be able to solve the questions from coded inequalities very easily, right? Very quickly. So the point that we're trying to make is solve the easier questions first, and then come back to the complex ones. Okay? Don't ask me about cutoff again, because last time when, if you look at the most recent example which I've talked about, SBI PU exam, SBI PU mains exam, what was the cutoff? The cutoff was 8 marks. 7 or 8 marks, that too for the general category. For the reserve categories, it was even lesser. So the point is, out of 35, even if you skip all the 25 questions and you solve the remaining 10 questions perfectly, you'll get 10 marks. And it is good to clear the cutoff. Understand, this is because the 25 questions were complex not only for you, but for all the students who have taken the exam. Alright? Somebody had asked me a very interesting question in this chat today that, by skipping these kind of questions, we may clear the cutoff, but we will not get a high score. You're right, you may not get a high score by skipping these questions. But think otherwise. By attempting these questions, is there a possibility that your score will improve or you will boost your score? Not really. Because even if you solve this question in 5 minutes, what will you get? 5 marks. And solving it in 5 minutes in the first place is not very easy. So I think your score boosters should be quantitative aptitude, general awareness kind of subjects. Right? And I'm sure you'll solve, if not all the 25 puzzles, you'll solve at least 10 to 15 of these without any challenge. Okay? So guys, the point is, skip these questions. You're able to follow? I've already mentioned that on the screen. I think you should religiously follow that, right? Skip these questions in the exam. Practice point of view, definitely solve, right? Because only when you practice, your reasoning will build up, right? It will be easy for you to attempt such questions in the exam. Okay? So I think that's about it. We'll close it here. I wish I could solve more questions. I had some questions on syllogisms as well, right? But I think we'll not be able to take it up because of the time constraint that we have. We'll have to close the session. But don't worry, we have enough videos on all these topics of not only reasoning, but all the sections, subjects of bank exam, right? You can explore our programs on our website, which is talentsprint.com, and get to know the details of these things. Okay, but overall about today's session, I think the 2 things that you have to avoid in reasoning section. Number 1 is avoid complex questions, right? Like circular complex arrangements, linear complex arrangements, complex assignments. Complex assignments can be done, right? Not complex usually, but definitely you have to avoid complex circular arrangements, complex linear arrangements, maybe questions from critical reasoning, because critical reasoning is perception based. There's no method, right? There's no formula, there's no technique, right? There's only an approach. If it gives you the answer, it gives you the answer. Otherwise, you have to try with something else, right? So I think you should not be taking chances with the reasoning ability section of your exam. So point number 1, the one thing that you'll avoid is avoid complex questions. The second then that you have to avoid is avoid missing the easier ones. See, in the process of trying to solve this complex questions, we actually miss out on very simple questions that were posted later in the exam, right? And you did not even look at those questions because your time got wasted here itself, right? So skip or avoid complex questions and avoid missing the simple ones, right? If you see, most of the questions from reasoning are 5 markers, and then there are 1 mark questions. Like for example, if you ask me, I would not say 5 questions on syllogisms will carry 5 marks. Each question of syllogism is independent, right? So it's like 1 mark question, right? Similarly, 5 questions from coded inequalities. Though there is a common data in coded inequalities, each of these 5 questions are independent of each other. You're getting it? So coded inequalities, syllogism, and for that matter, 1 mark questions from coding and decoding, blood relations, directions, all these are one category of questions. Then there are common data questions, like machine input output. There is a common data which has to be used for answering all the 5 questions. Circular complex arrangements or circular simple arrangements, circular linear arrangements, complex linear arrangements, okay? Then assignments, okay? Then what else? Yeah, I think these are the topics where there is a common data which has to be used for solving the given 5 questions. So these 5 questions, these type of questions you have to skip. If it is really complex. The other questions which are independent, avoid skipping it. Right? So I think these are the 2 things that you will follow so that you can boost your score in the reasoning section. Before I close, let me quickly see if there are any queries that you have. Kanan says, Rohit sir, question mark. So I like confused, or what are you trying to ask? Yeah, I'm listening to you, Karan. Please post your query. Shubhendu Roy says, can I draw? Yes, I am listening to you guys, Kanan and Shubhendu. Please tell me what is that you have to ask. Shubhendu says, please show critical reasoning next time. Yeah, I think we'll try and choose some questions from critical reasoning. But Shubhendu, I'm sure you are enrolled for the TalentSprint program, so there are videos on critical reasoning, and we have also solved some questions in our recent problem solving sessions that we conduct on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays. However, I'll take your point, and next time when we have a session on reasoning, a free session on reasoning like what we have on Wednesdays, we'll take up questions from critical reasoning too. Okay, I'm still waiting for Kanan to ask the query. Kumar says, can we expect IBPS RRB notification this year? Well, guys, this is as big a question to me as it is to you, right? I am nowhere connected to IBPS where I can tell you whether it will come or not. I am also like a student, aspiring student, right? I hope it comes, but I don't know. Sorry about that. How much time should we take to solve these questions? Arjun, first of all, you should not solve these questions. Skip. After you are done with reasoning, after you are done with your, let's say, quantitative aptitude in English sections, if time permits, choose what you think is the easiest out of the 3-4 puzzles and give it a shot. I think for this one, it should not take more than 5 minutes. The one that you have solved just now on complex circular arrangement which involved blood relations, 5 minutes should be enough. Vikram Reddy says, in seating arrangement, what does it mean when they say 2 places away or 3 places away? So 2 places away, it's like 2 places away is like second to the right or second to the left. 3 places away is third to the right or third to the left. Kanan says, is there any method to ask doubts? Okay, so your question is to how to ask questions. Well, Kanan, in these sessions that we do on Wednesdays, we have very limited time, right? 1 hour, and you know that it just goes by, right? I will not be able to take up queries posted by you here. But when you enroll for a TalentSprint program, what you can do is post your questions in the discussion forum. And we have live problem solving sessions or live doubts clarification sessions every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, where we will choose the question that we are posted in the forum and solve it for you. I think that's the way you ask your doubts, Karan, and get it clarified. Chitra says, for SSC CGL, GA questions of current affairs only or static GA also? They'll ask questions on static GA as well. Static general knowledge is very, very important part of SSC CGL exam. Karan says, any mail? No, Karan, there is no way that post a question through email. Oh, Karan says, I'm enrolled student in TalentSprint, sir. Thank you. Okay, so Karan, yeah, I've explained you, right? There is a forum. You know that there are student discussion forums in each course. So you can go there, post your questions. You can follow the events calendar that we have, where you will get to know when to post your questions, when the live session is going to happen, how do you join and all that. Alright, so I think with this we'll close the session here. Thank you all for joining us. I hope all of you have enjoyed this session. Please share your valuable feedback. Like I said, I wish I could do more questions here. I could present more questions, but we'll have to close it now. But you can always explore our programs and get the best deals on talentsprint.com, right? Visit us on talentsprint.com or call our toll-free number, which I have tend to forgotten, right? 1-800 102 and 9006. I think that is it. So I think go to talentsprint.com. You have all the details here, and all the very best for your preparation and for your exam, right? Take care.
Hi guys, welcome to TalentSprint. I'm Avipsa, back again with a few interesting events of the week gone by. Let's take a quick look at the national events first. The National Association of Software and Services Companies, that is NASSCOM, has appointed...
Trust your preparation for the upcoming SSC CGL Tier 1 exam is in high gear. Like you all must be aware, algebra carries a high weightage in the quantitative aptitude section of this exam. While this topic is considered to be a nightmare by most of the students, knowing the right techniques and smart methods can actually make it your trump card in the exam. So to help you master this topic, TalentSprint presents a free live session on smart methods and techniques to solve questions from algebra.